We start when we're supposed to start. And so it's 6 o'clock. Let's go. Check in. 6 o'clock. It's time to go. We talking about testosterone. And so let's go, my friends. Check in. Get on board. There's no time for delay. We ready to go. 6 o'clock. We start. And so what's happening, everybody? I pray that everyone is well. I pray that you are safe. And so we're going to have some good conversation tonight. I'm excited for it. I know it's going to be epic. What's up, my friend? Old Fogey Stogie, the man with the stories. What's happening? Let's go, my friends. Let's go. Let's get this music going. We're talking about testosterone. We are not holding any punches tonight. What's happening, Mark? Glad you're here. Go ahead, check in. Tonight, in fact, I'll just go ahead and get started. I got me an Alec Bradley Prensado. You know, that's one of my favorites. And I'll be drinking some Pepsi Zero sugar, some water. As we have this conversation, we about to have a whole show. And so let's do it. We're talking about testosterone and what happened to it. Let's go, my friends. Everyone's checking in. Dinner check. Didn't feel like cooking. Went down to Chick-fil-A. Got my family some spicy chicken burgers. Got me a salad. That's what I got. I got the salad. They got this avocado lime salad. Got me a salad. Keeping it healthy. After this, I'm going to work out. As we come together, men, women. But today, particularly, we're talking about testosterone. So it's a conversation for all. My sisters of the leaf, you know you are more than welcome here. I believe this is one cigar channel where there's a large portion of my audience are the sisters of the leaf. I think there's something about when men are just operating as they should, women have no problems checking it out, being a part of it. And so every show, we got some sisters of the leaf that are on. Today, we talking about testosterone. And so without any delay, I'm getting me ready, getting my Alec Bradley ready. I was sitting here at 5:50, just watching the clock go by. What's happening, John? What's up, brother Chris? Chris has got him. Chris be having them legendary combinations. CAO Brasilia with a Dr. Pepper. That's a tasty combination. That'll work. What's up, my brother? We are international. We do it all. In fact, speaking of places, tonight we'll be talking about the South. So I live in California. I travel a lot. And so, in fact, tomorrow you're going to get my video about cigar lounges in Texas. And with that in mind, later in the show, we're going to be giving out some Texas whiskey. So this show, we do it all. We do it all. We talk to the men, we talk to the women. Whiskey, cigars. This is international. What's happening, my friend? Welcome. Fogey's got I haven't had that cigar. I'm a big fan of Crown Heads. At least I was a big fan of Crown Heads. I'm not sure about their recent releases, but I'll check out. Let me know how is that Belgian Blue. Got him some coffee. So dinner check. So I had me a salad earlier. Just didn't feel like cooking today. And it's getting a little hot. Brother Nathaniel. And so I just went to the post office, mailed out Brother Nathaniel's package. And so they said it should arrive to you by Saturday. And so that's coming to you. That's what we do. We help the people out every week. I'm at the post office. Just today I was thinking about, do I need to just set up like a whole shipping system with all my boxes and my shrink wrap, and so I can send my friends these gifts? And so, Brother Nathaniel, you got a shipment in the mail to you. Brother John, he's got a Cohiba, Connecticut. Now, I love it. You got the Appleton Estate. And so if you saw my video about summer whiskeys that came out yesterday. And so check that video out. I'm talking about whiskeys for the summer. And of course, it's not even a whiskey, but I mentioned it because I wanted to. I mentioned my Appleton Estate. I got the 12-year. And so that's a good one. Summertime is here. And so that changes everything. Summer is here. All that high proof stuff goes out the window. What's happening? Shock proof. And so just one more announcement. And so the Patreon. Thank you all. We got about 20 members on Patreon already, and we just started. It hasn't even been a week. Patreon is going to be nice. And so I've already got a ton of content uploaded over there. We got 3 different levels. You could be a riser, you could be a grinder, or you could be a channel sponsor. It's all very affordable. Being a riser means you're going to get access to the content. Being a grinder, it's a little bit extra. You're going to get access to the content. And once a month, you'll have 1 automatic entry into our giveaways. Being a sponsor means once a month, you got 2 automatic entries into the giveaways. And we starting out with a bang. We are not holding back. First thing we're giving away, I did a short. We got this Need One humidor. And so they sent me the brand new one. They've got the humidors, electric humidors with all the technology built in. So back in the days, humidors, I believe they only heated, but they didn't cool. They only did one thing back in the days. Now they've got the technology all worked out where humidors heat and cool. And so this is revolutionary. Need One has got it all figured out. So you got a humidor and it produces its own humidity. So you don't even have to put both of the packs in there. You don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to add water. It just works. It keeps the right temperature. If it gets too hot, it'll cool. If it gets too cool, it'll heat up. Electric humidors have never done that before. And it maintains humidity. And so we're going to be giving that away August 1st. And so we're going to go through all the Patreon. So you got to be a grinder or a sponsor. And that'll be the first giveaway. And we'll be doing that every month. Every month we'll give away something major. Because sure, companies send me stuff and I'm just going to send it back to you guys. We help the people. For the Scots on the way to work, enjoy. Do your thing. Do your thing. What's up, my brother? I had that cigar the other day. H. Upman Vintage Cameron. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Of course, I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it as much as I would enjoy a Don Carlos, but I really did enjoy it. It surprised me. It was very smooth. It was very, very pleasant. There was nothing wrong about it. That was a pretty good cigar. What's up, Bobby? What's happening? Hot Box Cigars. Ron is here. Cigars and Bandit is here. We about to go into this, friends. I told you, every show I say, hey, how can I just get canceled and just call it a career? And I said, hey, let's just talk about what we want to talk about. We talking about testosterone today and what happened to it. One last announcement: the Rise and Grind pack. I think it was #purge, and so we got a winner. So Walter in 2006. That's the name. In fact, I think for that giveaway, that we had the most entries I've ever seen. Everybody wanted that. That was the Atabay, the Oprah's X, the God of Fire, the Goldie, the Melanio. But there can only be one winner, and that was Walter in 2006. That's the name he goes by. Walter in 2006. So, Walter, you're on the clock. So check in. If anybody know Walter, let Walter know that he won. What's up, frat? Walter in 2006 won the Rise and Grind giveaway. And so, Walter, you're on the clock. And so, if Walter doesn't respond, everybody, let's send out congratulations to Walter. But if Walter doesn't respond by Friday, then it just goes back into the pot and somebody else will get it. And so we will have a show on Friday. We got content coming out all this week. We got a bottle. We're gonna talk about Texas. So if any brothers on here from Texas, we'll be talking about Texas a little bit later. And so I'll give out a Texas whiskey. That's what we do. And tomorrow's show, notice, there's nothing haphazard about this. Tomorrow's show is talking about the best cigar lounges in Texas, because I've been spending a lot of time out in Texas. And so if you're from Texas, we got you covered. So Walter, you're on the clock. Check in. We congratulating you, Walter, but you got to check in. You got to check in, Walter. Everybody want them sticks, Walter. When I put the pack together, I would say, ooh, this is another $200 pack I'm putting together. So, Walter, you're on the clock. All right, let's dive into this. We're going to have a whole show. A whole show. We talking about testosterone today. And just as when we have these conversations, sure, we're just shooting the breeze, having good conversation. But I do want you to know, and I think most of you understand this, what I'm sharing with you, sometimes it's just my opinion, and sometimes it's actual facts, actual research. I am an actual doctor. I am a researcher. I am an academic. My PhD did focus on social construction. I do study social behavior. And so when I get on here, it's not just some guy rambling and ranting. It's not just entertainment. That's why I always throw in, it is educational. Now, I'm not hanging my hat on that. I do want it to be entertaining, but it is educational. It is backed by science. It is backed by research. I do have a clear understanding about social behavior, social construction. And tonight we're going to be looking at that. As my brother said, hit the like button. We need our friends in this conversation. We're looking at testosterone. I think most of us would agree that there's been a lot that's happened in our society as of late. Most of us would agree, and we see it. Yes, there is an over-feminization of our young men. When we look at it from a sociological standpoint, how do we get there? Well, one of my first live streams, we talked about deadbeat dads. I believe deadbeat dads is what started all of this. We've got young men who just weren't raised around men. They weren't raised seeing how man behaves. Behavior is learned. When you spend time with men, you pick up on mannerisms. You pick up on ways of doing things. It's all learned behavior. If you spend a lot of time around women, you're going to pick up on those mannerisms. My mom, in fact, owned a woman's clothing store. And her two sisters, my aunties, they were both hairstylists. And so I could have spent a lot of time hanging around women, but my mom was intentional. She didn't want me hanging around the shop, her shop, or her sister's shop. She didn't want me to spend all my time as a young man hanging around women, because she understood that that's going to have an impact on me. If you spend all your time in a woman's clothing store, you're going to end up being a little sassy. You're going to be a little more feminine. If you spend all your time at the hair salon, hearing women tell stories, then you're going to pick up on their mannerisms. And I think a lot of men have done that. We point this out all the time, where a lot of men, you can tell that they haven't spent a lot of time hanging out with other men. And so they tend to be emotional like women. They tend to respond to situations like women. They tend to, yes, even act like women. And we could even hit the fast forward button and say dress like women. But even just in a basic response, we pointed this out on our last live stream. A typical men are more practical. We have emotions, but we are not emotional. That's how men have been since the beginning of time. That's based on testosterone. We're more stoic. We're more reserved. If a man sees something and he doesn't agree with it, he more so just keeps that to himself and just moves on. Women, on the other hand, are a bit more expressive, a bit more emotional. A woman sees something she doesn't agree with, she's a bit more expressive. And so we see this all the time. And I pointed out to you, I can do a video. Your average man is going to watch a video. If he disagrees with it, shrugs his shoulders and just moves on. But there are some brothers, if they disagree, they're going to get emotional. There's an emotional attachment. They're going to respond, and that response is not typical and consistent with the way men typically respond to situations. I've even pointed out to you, there are some men at the very mention, even of my name, the name of my channel, it drives an emotional response. That is not the way men typically respond to situations. And so as we start diving into this conversation, looking at testosterone, looking at that thing that makes a man a man. And so first there's learned behavior. My mom didn't want me hanging out in the clothing store. She didn't want me hanging out in the hair salon. My aunties could have cut my hair. She said, no, you're going to a barber. I'm going to have you sitting with men. I'm dropping you off at the barbershop and you're going to spend some time with men. My mom had me do karate. You're going to have a sensei. You're going to hang out with some men. She put me in sports. And so even if for a lot of us, this is our situation, even if your dad wasn't there, there's outlets. There's men who can mentor you. There's sports. There's churches. There's civic organizations. There's a lot of things that you can do to get that male behavior learning. And so even if your dad wasn't there, like my dad wasn't there, but my mom made sure that I had these outlets to even see male behavior because it's learned. Because the little boy who spends all of his time just hanging out with women, eventually he's going to act like women. And I think that it's safe to say we see a lot of that in society today. But even if you grew up with the right influence, with the right behavior, with the right role models, with the right mentorship, with the right examples, as a man, as you get older, the thing that makes you a man, this testosterone that we're going to dive into, it actually starts to wane. And so as you get older, like my brother, let's send a happy birthday to Ron. Happy birthday, my friend. Happy birthday. We celebrate you. We wish you a happy birthday. Everybody, let's send a happy birthday to Ron, who's celebrating. He's here with us celebrating his birthday. We appreciate you. Ron is a good brother, great supporter of the channel. Definitely appreciate you. Happy birthday, my friend. I hope you're smoking something good. I don't know if you mentioned it earlier. I got me my Alec Bradley Prensado. It's smoking well. Got me my Pepsi. Pepsi Zero. Pepsi Zero. So happy birthday, my friend. Everyone is sending happy birthdays to Ron. We're here for you. We're here for you. This is how men can celebrate each other, respect each other. This is what men do. What leads to what men do is this testosterone. It's in us. Once you are born a male, it's in you. It's what makes you so reserved and so strong and so practical. It's what determines your hormones. It's what controls even how you react to things. It's why when a man sees something, he doesn't panic and get scared. It's what regulates you, keeps you calm and cool and stoic. And in some regards, you can say it makes you less emotional. And so whenever I see a man that's being very emotional, just an emotion also could mean just getting angry. See, sometimes we think that's aggressive male behavior. No, getting angry and losing your cool, that's a sign of low testosterone. Now, of course, testosterone can be linked to aggression in some cases, but there's something that keeps us even keel, keeps us as men. We've learned it, and it's just simply in us. As a man, you tend to have about 20 times more testosterone than a woman. Women have estrogen, and that's what makes them emotional. That's what makes them maternal. That's what makes them so loving and kind and all those feminine things. But there is a difference. And so I'm always, me being I suppose you can call me a social behavioralist, a social scientist, I can quickly pick up on things and see it. And see that, hey, this man is not acting like how men typically act. And so even if your dad wasn't there, you can still learn the behavior. But as you get older, testosterone starts to drop. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciation. Mr. Cash. Feel free, y'all. Hit the like button. Feel free to help support the channel. We got the Patreon and everything. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Mr. Cash. Thank you for that. I know you didn't have to do it, so I thank you for it. As a man gets older, his testosterone starts to go down. It's just something that naturally happens. How do you know when your testosterone is decreasing? Everything that makes you how you were in your 20s, it starts to fade away. When you lose testosterone, you start to lose muscle tone. When you lose testosterone, you start to lose energy. You find yourself oftentimes fatigued. When you lose testosterone, you can find yourself with a low sex drive. When you lose testosterone, you can find yourself more hormonal. You can find yourself more emotional. And so these are all things where as a man, if you start noticing that, hey, I'm always tired. My libido, it ain't there anymore. My sex drive is gone. And I'm really emotional. And so again, this is why I'm always pointing this out. And so it ain't that I'm responding to trolls and I'm no. I'm looking at men saying, okay, yeah, I can tell which stage in life he is at this time. He seems to be going through it. Just like women go through menopause, men, as we get a little bit older, we start losing testosterone and everything changes for us. Like my brother said, you start to lose that battle with gravity. Yeah. And it definitely happens around the belly, because all the things that kept you strong in your 20s, that's all starting to leave. And so now you start losing some of these things. Now, what I want to just talk to us about quickly is how do you get it back? Just because you start losing it doesn't mean you're going to turn into a woman. How do you get it back? Well, here's the beauty of how we were designed. You know, one of the best ways to get testosterone back. This is just God designed. This is how God designed us. You know, the best way to get testosterone. All right, I'll let y'all. You can put in the chat your ways of getting some testosterone back. My brother says he gets some T-shots. So there are injections. Yes, you can do that. There are pills. I mean, I'm not here to promote any particular companies, but sure, we've seen the Nugenics commercials. So there are supplements a man can take. But I'm just going to focus on the natural things. As my brother said, exercise. When you do stuff that men should do, you get more testosterone. This is how we are designed. Simply put, when you do man stuff, you get more man stuff in you. This is why I'm a believer. I believe in God. I believe God made us. When you do man stuff, you become more manly. And so when you exercise more, your testosterone increases. My brother says when you change your habits and lifestyle. Yes, your diet. You want to get more vitamin D in your diet. You want to have more protein in your diet. So when you take in more man stuff, so when you eat more man food, do more man things, your body becomes more manly. And so exercise, bring in more protein, more vitamin D, more rest, get some sleep, lower your stress. And so look at what we're doing. Why do you think I'm such a big proponent of just keeping my mind at ease? When you are more relaxed as a man, your testosterone goes up. When you have things in your life, like this moment right here, where we can just relax and chill, do a Tuesday time out, that helps you to become more manly. This act right here, even just hanging out in a lounge, hanging out with other men, smoking a cigar, reducing your stress increases your testosterone. And so doing exercise, working your large muscles. Most of you realizing this. Exercising. The more man stuff you do, the more testosterone you get in you. And so this is why I'm such a big I'm always looking to see. It's not that I'm going around judging people and analyzing them, but you can start to pick up on things. If you find yourself low energy, low drive. Another symptom of low testosterone is low risk taking. You're the kind of man you don't want to step out and do anything. You scared. You scared to start that channel. You scared to start that business. You're a young man and you scared to go ask the girl out. And so this is why when I see brothers, like when old Fogey started his channel, I said, yes, go. Because a lot of people who are thinking, hey, I want to start a channel, but I'm scared. I'm nervous. It's going to be risky. Doing stuff, taking a risk. I mean, safe risk, nothing crazy, but just doing man stuff increases your testosterone. Brothers mentioned zinc, vitamin D, protein, all these things. Now you hear my brother. We just getting started. You here for the good conversation. There is testosterone therapy that you can get. I think old Fogey said earlier. You can get shots. You can take some, some supplements. One of the things, and this is just the beauty of how God designed us. Even just watching men do man stuff increases your testosterone. What do I mean? Watching a football game. Watching two men box. Just you watching men do masculine things increases your testosterone. And so watching sports. And yes, shameless plug, watching this channel increases your testosterone. Just watching men do man stuff. Hanging out with men. This is why I always say the cigar lounge. To me, that's the answers for so much of our problems. Just being in a space, watching men do a bunch of man stuff increases your testosterone. Watching men behave a certain way, act a certain way, talk a certain way, sitting up straight. The way our brains are wired, when we see behavior, we get hormonal changes inside of us, biological changes just from you watching it. And so this is why I'm so careful about my channel, where I don't want everybody on the channel. Because if you got people who are exhibiting the wrong types of behavior, we all see that. And that can have an impact on us. That's why I make sure that my circles, I surround myself with certain types of men. Because just watching a man be feminine lowers your testosterone. And again, I'm saying this as a doctor. I'm saying this based on science. This isn't to challenge anyone or hurt anyone's feelings. Watching feminine things increases your estrogen. Now, I'm not saying don't watch Martha Stewart. but what I'm really driving home here is everything you see matters. Everything you watch matters. Everything you surround yourself with matters. And so when you surround yourself with masculine men, even just watching it, watching masculine men do masculine stuff increases your testosterone. And these are kind of things these are the science-based things that society, I guess, doesn't want us to say or doesn't want us to talk about. They want to present it like however they are presenting it. But as a PhD, summa cum laude, fine institutions, I can share with you. Men doing man stuff increases your testosterone. And if you don't have enough testosterone, it can be unhealthy. It can lead to fatigue. It can lead to, excessive weight. It can lead to hormonal changes within you. It can lead to depression. It can lead to thoughts of suicide. It can lead to so much. So the way we are designed, and I'll say this, and I'll keep saying this, men do man stuff. That's how we're designed. When you do man stuff, when you exercise, when you eat right, your testosterone goes up. When you do feminine things, your estrogen goes up and your testosterone goes down. And even just simply watching, that's why I'm always telling you, be careful what you watch. You watch men doing man stuff, it helps you. You watch men doing feminine stuff, it hurts your body in a literal way because your testosterone goes down. And that's something nobody can even argue with. And so that's why this channel, that's why I'm so intentional about what I share. That's why I don't just play around with what I say. I say things to you literally as a doctor sharing social science with you. So this isn't just content for me. This is how can I physically help someone in their life? And so I know sometimes the saying's like, oh man, he's really on a tangent. He really be hammering the emotional sensitive men. Yeah. Because it can be very unhealthy. Men are designed to have testosterone and to do man things. And when men start doing emotional things and sassy things and just different things, it does have an impact on our bodies. What was that, Brother Stogie? My brother, yeah, just watching this. Just watching a man do man stuff. It literally, and if you don't believe anything that I say, you could always fact check me. Watching men do man stuff, you get a boost of testosterone. And so, sure, I'm just smoking a cigar, but if I was arm wrestling somebody or engaged in an MMA fight, you feel it in you. You get a rush. And that's what makes us who we are. Now, society will tell you that, oh, it's toxic masculinity. No, that's what's keeping you alive. You lose that, your chest turns to titties, your stomach turns to belly, you get tired all the time, you start feeling depressed, and before you know it, you don't even want to get out of bed. You don't even want to face the day. When you stop doing man stuff, your body starts dying because your testosterone starts to just decrease. And that's just not how we were designed to live. And so that's what we just wanted to just share. And of course, I always want to share the solution. The solution, exercise. The solution, get stress out of your life. Stress eats up testosterone. And so if you have a habit, and think about it like this, is there a habit that you can do that releases stress and puts you in environments of men to see men doing man stuff? Is there a place you can go where you can relax and de-stress and be around masculine men? And my friends, yeah, that used to be the cigar lounge. That used to be what we did and how we did it. That's why men back in the days lived longer. You had old men still muscular. They had more testosterone in them. And for us, if you ever wonder why we can't get in shape, why we feel tired all the time, why we all depressed, because we don't have enough testosterone in our bodies. Because a lot of times we're not doing man stuff. And so our bodies are designed to help us. And so that's what I love about the cigar lounge. That's what I love about the cigar culture. It's a culture that promotes man stuff, should promote man stuff. And when I see that it ain't, that's why I talk about it so much. Because we are literally killing ourselves, denying our bodies a hormone that it absolutely needs. It needs testosterone. How do you get it? Do a bunch of man stuff. Look how easy God designed us. You want to be healthier? Do some man stuff. Watch men do men stuff. Relax, exercise, eat right, and do some man stuff. That's how God designed us to be men. So thank you, God, for your amazing design of men. All right, we're going to dive into some other stuff. Yeah, somebody won the purge. I'll announce it again. Walter in 2006. Walter in 2006. So if you're watching, Walter, you won the purge contest. I got a whole bunch of cigars for you, Walter. About $200 worth of cigars. So Walter in 2006 won. My brothers, I always love Paul Gamarian. Yeah, Walter won. And tonight, so we're going to segue. Speaking of man stuff, so I live out in I live out in California. My brother Stogie Brody, is out in Alabama. I'm out in California, and my brother's out here exercising. Do it. Keep it up. Keep it up. Thank you, Lewis. I appreciate you, sir. We here for the people. We here for the people. Is it risky saying the stuff I'm saying? I make sure I say it in a fact-based way. Am I pushing religion on the people? Nope. I'm sharing with you science. How can I say this? Because I am a scientist, social scientist. And so we're doing it for the people. Sharing the good information. We appreciate your support. And so Walter's here. Everybody congratulated Walter. So Walter won. I'm glad you checked this. So Walter, make sure you email me. Email me your address, and you get a lot. You get the Atabay and Opus X and God of Fire and La Polina Goldie and Melanio. You saw our celebration show as we hit 10,000 subscribers, and we did hashtag purge. Because speaking of all this man stuff that I'm talking about, I'm always purging the channel. My content is designed to purge the channel, which is why I literally have a video that says, this channel isn't for you. All of that is intentional to purge, to get rid of what can kill us. And so I'm very intentional about my content. And I made a decision at some point in the channel. I said, look, I'm talking to us. The channel isn't for everybody. No, the channel is for traditional masculine men. Feminine, beautiful women. That's who the channel's for. And so we did the hashtag purge, and you all supported it. I appreciate you. Walter won. Now, as I was mentioning, I live in California, where sometimes things can be a little iffy out here. I love Texas. My daughter lives in Texas, and so she went to Texas A&M, and then I started visiting Texas. I really like Texas, and so tonight we're gonna end up giving away this Texas whiskey. This is Iron Root Harbinger. Now, one of my most favorite whiskeys is Garrison Brothers, the Cowboy. And so that's one of my top 3 whiskeys of all time. Tonight we're going to be giving away this. This is a pretty good Texas whiskey. It's a really good one. And so let's just do it right now. Hashtag Texas. Hashtag Texas. Hashtag Texas. And you get this bottle. We'll announce it on our Friday show. Hashtag Texas, and we'll send the winner. And so last show we had at least like 20 entries. Folks really wanted the purge package. When Texas whiskey started coming out, it was a little funky, but I think they've figured it out. You get that Texas heat, which means the whiskey is going to age quickly. And so this is a pretty good pour. I went to a bottle share the other day where we had everything. We had all the premium stuff. I just kept going back to this. The reason why I mentioned Texas, because that's a place where, my daughter asked me the other day, she said, Dad, would you move out here? And I said, yeah. I said, I'm out in California, and it's a little sketchy for a man like me out here. I said, you know what, I might be better suited moving to Texas. And so I want to talk about Texas for a second. What do I want to talk about? So tomorrow I got a video coming out that's about Texas cigar lounges. God bless you, Matthew. That's the essence of the channel right here. This brother says, hey, I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm watching your channel. God bless. That's the channel right here. This man is working. He's working and watching some man stuff. Now, before anyone says, oh, this channel got this masculine feel for it. What I said to you guys earlier, I said, look, there's just God's design. Masculinity, femininity. This channel is supported by tons of the Sisters of the Leaf. I said that earlier. There's my sister Joy right here, Sister of the Leaf. And let me ask you this: how many live streams like this is going to have like 5 women watching it and enjoying the content? You see, sometimes when we look at a lot of different live streams, whether it's whiskey or cigars, it's just what we call a man fest. And that's not the intent of the content. It's not designed to just be a bunch of man talk. It's about an us talk. It's about us getting back to what's natural, to God's design. I say to you all the time, a woman loves nothing better than a man standing in his dominion, a man standing in his masculinity. And there's nothing more attractive than a woman standing in her femininity. And so here we have our sister Joy, our sister of the Leaf, here with us. And it's usually about a handful. And I can tell you based on my analytics, even though I do all this whiskey and cigars, about 10% of those that watch my channel show themselves as being women. And that's high based on the content that I do. And so this is for the brothers of the Leaf, the sisters of the Leaf, white, black, Hispanic, Asian. This is for everybody. Blue collar, white collar, we here. And so we doing the Texas thing. I mean, I like it in Texas. And so my daughter, when she went to A&M, so we were spent a lot of time going to College Station, and then we'd always drive to Houston. And then she actually moved to San Antonio. She lived there for a second, and then she recently moved to Austin. And each time she moves, I go out there. My brother said it perfectly. I was going to say that. You probably saw me about to say it, and I said, no, don't say it. Sometimes it becomes a sausage fest. But I love it when I think the truth is universal. I think the truth is for everybody. And again, there's nothing more beautiful than brothers and sisters coming together to have some good conversation. Texas. And so tomorrow is going to be a video that's dropping about my most favorite Texas cigar lounges. And so I'll mention a few. And for those who live in Texas, so it sounds like Hotbox, you're in Texas. He's a content creator, so check out his channel. Big Manny's out there too. So let me know, what's the spots in Texas? Now the video is coming out tomorrow. And I didn't want to, we all know Cigars International is out there. And so I didn't mention that. Let me know the spots in Texas. And I'll share with you what's going to be in tomorrow's video. But I'll start off by saying what just blew my mind is this one cigar lounge called Industrial. It's in Frisco, I think. Dallas. I call everything Dallas. That cigar lounge is just next level. So let me know if you guys have been to Industrial Cigar Lounge. It's Texas. So everything in Texas is just going to be big and just massive. I'm used to spots here in California where it's just one room. It's one room, it's like 20 guys and your knees are touching. You go out to Texas and you hit up these cigar lounges. Industrial it's got I think 4 different large rooms. There's an outer room. There's might be a principal room. There's all these different rooms. So let me know if you guys have been there to Industrial. So that was the first one that I was just wowed by. The service was just impeccable. Selection was amazing. It had me thinking, like, you might want to move to Texas. Yeah, Cali has good weather. LA has good weather, but we got some stuff I don't really like too much. And so let's talk about Texas. And we're giving away a bottle. Texas bottle. Hot box is mentioned. Redland cigars. Lots of space. Okay, I'll check that out. They do a lot of veteran outreach. And that's another thing I noticed with Texas. Whenever I'm there, I feel, as a veteran, as a Marine, as a Christian man, I just feel like I'm home. Sometimes when I'm here in LA, it feels like I gotta walk around on eggshells and I can't say what I want to say. Even from the pulpit, sometimes I gotta, like, don't say this, don't say that, just relax. But when you're in Texas, it feels very free. Feels like a place where veterans are honored. Feels like a God-fearing place. And so I appreciate the vibe in Texas. And so that was one of the places I really enjoyed. Like I said, check out that video. It comes out tomorrow about some great cigar lounges in Texas. There's another one called Paladin. I really enjoyed Paladin. So there's Industrial, there's Paladin, there's Smoke Ring. Smoke Ring was another one where everything in Texas is just so big. I think Smoke Ring has like multiple humidors. That only happens in Texas, where the lounge is so big, there's multiple rooms and multiple humidors. Again, there's lounges here in California I go to that I love. The humidor is really just a shelf on the wall, and that's it. It's like 20 cigars to choose from. But when you're in Texas, there's entire rooms. And so everything is bigger in Texas. And so you guys have done the hashtag Texas, and that'll get you this Iron Root Harbinger. This is a great bottle, Texas whiskey. So I just want to show some love to Texas. Maybe I'll move out there. We'll see. Maybe I'll retire out there. We'll see. But we just hear a quick Tuesday timeout. We got one more topic to talk about. Big Manny has mentioned the Cigar Lounge at Chamberlain in Dallas. Is that the restaurant? I think I might have been there. It's like a restaurant, and in the back of the restaurant is the lounge. And if that's the case, yeah, I think I've been there. So like I said, I do a lot of traveling. Lots of traveling. We got content coming out this week. Tomorrow, Texas. Now, before we get into the last, my brother said Texas is legit. I concur. Now, sometimes the summers hit triple digits. And so I don't love the summers. Summertime in Dallas can be a bit much. Hey, I'm here in LA where, I'm mad if it gets up to 85. And so Dallas is like 110 all day long, even at nighttime. So that's what I don't love about it. Now, before we get into our last topic here, so please hit like. I've given you some opportunities. Yeah, Chamberlain's is in a restaurant. Yeah, I've been there. Really enjoyed it. Great spot. I had a great time there. And it was, I think when I went there, it was some brothers. They must have been part of some kind of club, and they were having some kind of meeting. And then they just invited me and just let me hang with them. And so one thing I'm always telling you guys and ladies is the cigar lounges. And so when we talk about men doing men stuff, and I always hear guys say, oh, I don't like going to the cigar lounge because it's snooty. And no, any cigar lounge that I've been to, the men have always just said, hey, come here, come here, come here. And it doesn't matter, white men, black men. There's something about when men are just operating in their masculinity. I go to anywhere. Like the brother just said, he just mentioned a cigar lounge. I said, oh yeah, I've been there. It's a restaurant. And in the back of the restaurant, there's a lounge. And I went there. There's like a table of 10 brothers having a meeting. And they say, hey, come sit with us. Come sit. And I joined them. That's what happens when you step outside. That's what happens, man, when you just go outside and do man stuff. And I try to show this through my channel. I just showed you Atlanta. Now, I can't always have the camera rolling while I'm sitting in the cigar lounge. And so sometimes I could only share with you the story of what happened. But there's a lot of good men out here doing a lot of good things. There's a lot of good energy out here, no matter where you go. Whenever I feel like California is getting to me, I go to a lounge in California. It's a safe asylum where things usually operate the way they should. The lounges is a beautiful place. Like my brother said, there ain't no strangers at the lounge. Casa de Monte Cristo, I got to check that out. In Houston as well? Okay. Thank you, brother. Okay. So please hit the like button so the rest of our friends can come in and join. Our Patreon. We set up the Patreon. And for those who've already been on the Patreon, you see me on there just having some conversation. Saying some stuff that I just can't say on YouTube. I figured YouTube out. I know the line I can cross. And so I set up the Patreon so I can put some videos up there that where I need a free platform. And so you get access to those kind of videos, those kind of content. We got our Discord over there. And we just set up the Patreon. It hasn't even been a week. And there's about 20 members already. And so I thank you. You guys are amazing. You guys are absolutely amazing. One of the things my wife, so she's a bit of a graphic designer. So she helped me put together this cigar journal. And so it's this beautiful book, leather-bound book, where when you sit and you smoke your cigar and you just have your you time, you can annotate and just make notes of whatever flavor notes, date, the type of cigar. Just you can write whatever you want to write in there. And so that's something I've always had in mind of coming up with a cigar journal, just to capture. A lot of times I'm smoking by myself and I want to capture the moment. And so we came up with this cigar journal. But I never wanted to be selling it. I don't want to be that kind of guy pushing products on the people. And so I said, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll set up the Patreon. And then if you become a sponsor, then I just gift you the journal. And so I said, that'll be a good idea. So let's do that. And I set up the Patreon and I figured, okay, who's going to be a channel sponsor? And instantly, I think we got like 8 sponsors already. And so I turned to my wife. I said, yeah, I'm going to need some boxes and I'm going to need some more copies of that journal because the people are supporting the channel. And so when you become a channel sponsor, you automatically get the cigar journal. We just send that to you just as a gift. The cigar journal will be on Amazon. And so you can buy it if you didn't want to be a sponsor, if you just wanted to buy it for the sake of buying it, if you wanted to buy it to gift it to somebody else. But the support I've gotten from you guys has been amazing. I'm always blown away. I mean, yes, the channel hit 10,000, but even when we set up the Patreon, just instantly, people just flooded to it. And so if you aren't there, go check it out. You will get your money's worth. And I'm always, every week, there's always going to be videos uploaded there. So it ain't just me taking your money. No, You will get your money's worth. So check out the Patreon. And again, August 1st, I'm going to be giving away an entire electric humidor on there from Need One. Their brand new humidor. The way this channel works, there's me, there's the brand, and then there's you. I take from the brands and I give it to you. That's what we do. All right, we're going to get to our last topic here. Cali is nice. But yeah, there's good people everywhere. Okay, we'll answer a couple questions and then we'll get to our last topic. Brother Tyler's asked, he said, has anyone here used a cigar tip? I don't do that. I suppose if you start realizing your lips are getting all dark, for the brothers who smoke to the nub, maybe you put the cigar tip on there, but I don't do that. What's up, my brother Robert? Yeah, and so brother Ray has got more like a virtual, and that's why a lot of people started channels. And so the cigar journal. So if you go to my Patreon, you become a channel sponsor. Very, very affordable. You automatically get a cigar journal sent to you. Now, when I'm in Virginia, what lounges do I go to? So I do a lot of work in the DC area. As you know, I do some defense type work. And so I find myself, makes me wonder, have I done a video on that? And if I haven't, I should have. Okay, yeah. I got a video coming out for best East Coast lounges. Whenever I'm in the DMV, so DC, Maryland, Virginia area. In Virginia proper, I think there's one called the OC. And so I always hit that up. A lot of my frat brothers are there. And so that always turns into a party. I believe it's called the OC. And so somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's a great vibe. At the OC, it's a lot of my fraternity brothers that are there. And then a lot of federal law enforcement. And there's just something about going into spaces and just picking up on people of purpose. And so I'm out here in California, and sometimes law enforcement isn't honored. Sometimes military isn't honored out here. But then when I go to places like Virginia and I'm in a cigar lounge and everyone you talk to, you say, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a customs agent. I'm a Secret Service. I'm this, I'm that. Yeah, my brother Chris. See, any state you mention, like I said, I think I do like 100 cigar lounges a year. I'm out there, friends. I travel. So OC is really nice. And again, a lot of good law enforcement brothers and sisters there. A lot of my fraternity brothers are there. So you can get a sense of who's there. And it's ran by, it's very diverse. A very diverse environment. So I love the OC. Now, if I'm in DC, then I go to 219. That's a nice spot. And they got a great restaurant. So 219 has an amazing restaurant. I always get the shrimp and grits from there. So the restaurant is on the second floor, and I think the lounge is on the third floor. Live music. So that's a great spot. I like 219. And if you're in DC, then it's just it's a ton of places. You've got Shelly's back room. You got there's one that's ran by this Ethiopian lady. I think it's called like YG or something like that. And so those are some of the lounges that I hit up when I'm in Virginia. I got a good woman. All right, brother Robert asked, was I a drill instructor? I wasn't a drill instructor. If I had re-enlisted, I likely would have been. I only did 4 years in the Marine Corps. I worked in ammunition and explosives. But if I had re-enlisted, I probably would have went the DI route. I was that kind of Marine, what you call a hard charger. So I likely would have. I did some recruiting, but yeah, I wasn't a drill instructor. I became a drill instructor to my kids. Chris mentions a Lion's Den. You say I give off a DI vibes. Yeah, sure. I'm relaxed, smoking a cigar, chill. Yes, every Marine probably wanted to be a drill instructor. There was a point in my life where I wanted to be a drill instructor. It's the ultimate goal as a Marine, but I never actually did it. I mean, I got out and did some other things. All right. Vince is from the VA. I like North Carolina. I spent some time in North Carolina. I spent some time everywhere. There ain't a state you can mention where I haven't been, and I haven't stomped and did my thing. Except for Oklahoma. I've never been to Oklahoma City. I've never been there. All right, I'm trusting y'all hit like and all that stuff. Patreon, check it out. And based on Old Fogey's stuff, check out his channel. Definitely go check out his channel. He just showed he's in Kansas City and he's just hanging out with Nick Perdomo. And he called me about the video. And when I saw the video, I was like, he's just hanging out with Nick Perdomo. And so Kansas City seems to have it going on. And the lounge he showed. Now, I have spent a lot of time in Kansas City. So next time I'm there, I'll hit you up. We'll hang out in real life. All right, last thing. Speaking of Nick Perdomo, last topic I have for you. Please make sure you've hit like. Video that's coming out on Thursday. Thursday's video. So we talked about Texas already. Now we're going to talk about the Mount Rushmore. And so that's Thursday's video. And I felt as if I wanted to do this because, yes, I came out blazing. There's a lot of cigar brands that think I don't like them. There's a lot of people, butthurt, sensitive. Hey, we as men, we don't really operate in those spaces. We say what we got to say and we move on, But I always want to make sure that it's understood that I have great respect. Now, I'm always going to say what I want to say, but I do have great respect for for everyone in the cigar industry. I don't take it lightly. So even if you make a cigar that I hate, I know you put work into it. Yeah, kind of. If you're cutting corners, I'll call you out for it. But I do have a lot of respect for the men and women in the industry, for the workers. I'm a Caribbean brother. My wife's Latin, and so what? Don't I got respect for the workers, the people who got their hands dirty, but also for those who started the companies, for the master blenders. And so Thursday's video just pays tribute. It's a different kind of video. I haven't ever done a video like that. It's what I call the Mount Rushmore of cigar makers. I do 5, and I'll let you all. I'll let the chat. I'll let you all share. Who would you put on the Mount Rushmore for cigar blenders? And so go ahead, put that in the chat. If you want to do 4, feel free. If you just want to put whoever you think your top one is, feel free. But I'll start to share with you who. I'm not going to share all of them because I want you to still watch the video. But I do want us to have that conversation. Because again, for me, it's all about respect. It's all about respect. Who would you put on the Mount Rushmore for cigar blenders? The Mount Rushmore for cigar blenders. And when I did that video, with most things that I do, you can tell it talks about the cigars and the cigars that they made, but also about the journey that they were on. Now, Nathaniel has mentioned AJ Fernandez. Now, if anyone who watches my channel, and here's where we get into masculinity here. Anyone that watches my channel, because there are some men who are butthurt. They're like, he said he didn't like AJ, and now they're mad. When you watch this video, you're going to see that on my Mount Rushmore of cigar makers, AJ is definitely listed and mentioned. Why? Because as a man, even if I don't like it, even if I don't like your product, I gotta still give you the respect. I can still see what you've done and have some respect for it. Sometimes, and this is how we can always tell who operating a little bit different. When a man doesn't have logic and is just operating with emotions. And so there's some people who would say, I don't like AJ, and okay, that sounds emotional. Now I can share with you from a logic and say, hey, you know what? I don't really like the flavors of his cigars, but from a logic standpoint, I can also say, hey, but he's made amazing cigars that I do like the Ramon Alones by AJ. That's a great cigar. A lot of Foundation stuff are great cigars. The New World are pretty good cigars. And so AJ is listed on that video, and I called him, and here's the thing, I think he's like 40 years old. And so I call him he's the next wave, because everyone else that I mentioned in the video, they're older men. They're men who've started a legacy. These are the guys who left Cuba and they left Nicaragua. And so they passed on the company to their children. But AJ, this young man, and so I think we gotta honor that, lift that up, because he's gonna be the legend in our lives for the next 40 years. And so, yes, AJ to me is definitely, you will see it. I mean, the video's already done. And so AJ is definitely mentioned, even though I don't love the profile that he tends to go for, but from a respect, had to mention AJ. And so, great. Humidor Highlights mentions AJ and EPC. And so, yes, EPC is in the video. Ernesto Perez Cabrillo. He's in the video. And how can he not be? How can he not be? The Pledge, La Historia. I mean, the company just puts out bangers after bangers after bangers. And the beauty with him, the thing that he's done that's so great, is I think he's the best at blending tobacco from different areas. And so a lot of people, so AJ tends to be Nicaragua. Fuentes tends to be Dominican Republic. I think EPC does the best job, in my opinion, of blending it all together. And I think that's why the Pledge, and that's why they're strong, but yet they're still tasty. And so definitely EPC. Walter, the big winner, let's mention Eladio Diaz. Is that and this is a name I definitely should have well, I mean, I can only mention so many. I should have only mentioned 4, but I mentioned 5. So Eladio Diaz, I believe, is with Davidoff. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yes, much respect to him. Our brother just joined the Patreon. Hey, thank you. I appreciate you. We do a lot of work, put in a lot of content. We never shortchange the people. And so I thank you. I thank you. Don Pepin. You know, that's one of my favorites. Don Pepin with My Father. That's definitely. And when you watch the video, you'll also see the journey that a lot of these men went on. And so I believe he had to escape from Nicaragua. Ended up coming to Miami. I mean, for a lot of these men and women, They were risking their lives to produce these cigars that we love. And so we gotta give them honor. We gotta show them respect. Old Fogey, here's his Mount Rushmore. Fuente, okay. So I don't think I even had to say it. Fuente for me, that's just a given. We can't talk cigars. You can't talk to me about cigars if we're not talking about Fuente. And particularly, well, as far as Mount Rushmore, we're talking about Carlos Fuente Sr., the Don Carlos. And so that's just my guy. Carrillo as well, AJ, and then Saka. And so again, most people know I don't like Saka cigars. But if we're gonna talk just as men, as women, as reasonable people, we gotta say, hey, yeah, this man knows what he's doing. Okay, he is smoked. Oh, you in Texas? Okay. Yeah, AJ. Do I ever get to Detroit? Actually, no. I think that's one place I've never been to. I haven't been to Detroit. I feel like I go to Detroit all the time. If you're a Detroit guy, I listen to Anton Daniels. And so I feel like I'm in Detroit just watching him with his vlogs and everything. But yeah, I've never been to Detroit. So no, I haven't been there. I'll try to make it out there. Yeah, and Eladio Diaz, he was Davidoff's master blender. Yeah, he started his own company. And so I'll be on the lookout for Eladio Diaz. Okay. And I believe is that... Okay, that's Eladio's company. Tabacalera Diaz. Okay. And so you're going to see the video. So that's coming out on Thursday, where I talk about... I believe, as the Bible says, you give honor to who honor is due. And so I did a video, and we're going to be talking about just the Mount Rushmore. So yes, Fuente is mentioned. Yes, AJ is mentioned. And I'll just throw out one more, Padron. We can't talk about cigars and not talk about Padron. So again, also, I'm not a big Padron fan. But when you look at the journey, leaving Cuba, and just what he's done with the Maduros, the stronger cigars, it's just the draw testing, the quality. I think this industry will not be what it is if it wasn't for Padron. And so we had to definitely mention him. And so that's why I did that video, just to give some respect for those who respect is due. All right, 718. Folks is here rocking. I'm finishing up my Alec Bradley Prensado. This is just my old school cigar. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Anton. So actually, truth of the matter is I actually sent Anton Daniels some cigars one time. And so whenever I see a man out here doing good that I can connect with, that I can vibe with. Yes, I used to listen a lot to Kevin Samuels. That's what got me into fragrances. So that's why with my lives, I always get back to doing that, but I sometimes would show you some fragrances. And so when I was looking at what Kevin Samuels was doing before he passed away, when I look at what Anton Daniels is doing, and so I realized that I'm in this cigar space, whiskey space, but I do think that there is a consistent message. There's a message that I think we all, it's almost like we're crying out for it. Like my brother says, yeah, he's still listening to Kevin Samuels. And I do too. I do as well. Because Kevin Samuels just came out and just started talking about it. And just presenting it in such a way that you can't really dispute. Kevin Samuels just came out and was just bringing the truth. And what I love about Anton Daniels, and this is what I also try to project myself, because a lot of times when you come out and you just start saying masculine things, people try to undercut you, and then they try to label you. They try to say, oh, it's toxic masculinity. Oh, it's red pill, blue pill. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. This ain't no manosphere. This is just a man looking at life saying, I think we're going in the wrong direction. And so can the adults start talking, and can we get back to just what's natural? Can brothers who have testosterone in them, which keeps us healthy, which keeps us mild and moderate and focused, can we understand the natural chromosome in us? And can we respect the estrogen that's in our sisters, which keeps them beautiful and wonderful and gentle and maternal? Can we just get back to just honoring and respecting these things? And as we mentioned earlier, Peter with Cigars Unbanded, who has like the biggest cigar live. They have like over 100 people when they have their live. And I said sometimes when we do these lives, it just becomes a man fest. And then Peter jumped in and said, no, it becomes a sausage fest. And because he's seen it and you see it, it just becomes a bunch of guys just talking. And I said, you know what? I said, when we show balance, we're going to have men, we're going to have women, we're going to have masculinity, we're going to have femininity. I said on this channel, there's a large amount of women that watch. You heard me say that. And as soon as I said that, Joy, a sister of the Leaf, she jumped in and said, oh yeah, we always watch it. Yeah, we love you. Yeah. I send her cigars. We go back and forth all the time. I call her my sister. What's up, LaTanya? Hey. So everything we do on this channel is done just live, just real time. The truth is always just going to play for itself. We doing a live entitled Testosterone. But it's something that men understand, women understand. Women want their men to have some testosterone. Women want their men to have some kind of libido, healthiness, energy. Your woman doesn't want you fatigued and tired all the time. She wants you to have some testosterone in you. How do you get testosterone? Exercise and do a bunch of man stuff. Relax and chill, smoke cigars with your friends, which do a bunch of man stuff. What's up, LaTanya? Glad you're here. So Kevin Samuels was putting this out. Everybody liked Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels passed away. And one of the things that happens is our sister just confirming everything I just been telling y'all for the past hour and 23 minutes. One of the things that happens, okay, I'm gonna reach for my second cigar. So I just finished the Alec Bradley Prensado. We just rocking out with the people. You are the co-host. It's just, the channel is a guy sharing some truth and the people. If anybody wondering, what's the secret? What's the formula? How do you get to 10,000 subscribers? How do you have a live and you got 30, 40 people on here and it's just you? It ain't no gimmicks. It's just good conversation. Just speak the truth. Ain't no interviews. Ain't no. It's just me talking to the people. That's it. Just giving to the people. Every show, we just giving to the people. Yeah, sure, we send you stuff because I figure. And so tonight, for those who haven't caught it, hashtag Texas. We talk about Texas, sending the people some Texas whiskey. Hashtag Texas if you haven't done that already. Because I generally love the people. And I just give to the people. That's just how it works. Look at this. This is the only, and anyone reading the chat, this is the only chat like this. There's Latanya, hey. There's Joy, hey. There's Latanya, hey. We talking about testosterone, and the sisters are here enjoying the conversation. Show me another live like this, where we got men and women, black people, white people, blue collar, white collar, just kicking it. I have an Instagram. Just look up Rise and Grind. I used to have like a bigger one, then it got hacked, and I just never recovered it. So I set up a second one, and it had a healthy number of people. And then when it got hacked, so I had to start all over, and then I just could never really put any kind of energy into it. One of the things when you're a person like me and you start saying what I'm saying, we saw this with Kevin Samuels. When you start just speaking this truth, you get attacked. Because society doesn't want to hear this kind of truth. And so there's always this undermining that happens. And they'll come for you with some kind of angle. So with Kevin Samuels, they would try to even find a little angle to get him with. And so what I did, because I've seen this, remember, I'm literally a social scientist, so I know the play. I know how it works. And so I present information in such a way that it ain't too much you can attack. I'm a pastor. I'm a Marine veteran. I'm happily married. I've raised great children. I am an academic. I work in the corporate America. I got street cred, book smart. The reason why I share these things, because I know how people will try to attack. And so if I was to just come out here and say, hey, look, men need to be men, women need to be women, there would be somebody who would say, oh, it's toxic masculinity. We don't like him. That's not what I'm saying. I got 4 sisters, 2 daughters. I'm a happily married man. So you can't pull that. You can't say, oh, this is red pill stuff. No, it ain't. 70% of my church is women. They love me. So you can't pull that card and say, oh, he's toxic masculine. No, I'm a gentle pastor. The other thing that they'll try to do is they'll try to say, oh, he, and this is what sometimes people try to do. We see it happen all the time. They'll try to assassinate your character. Well, he did this and he did that, and he's a con artist. I ain't asking y'all for nothing. I'm giving more than I'm getting. I give away like $200 worth of cigars every show. I give more than I get. I never ask for anything. We just set up the Patreon just so we can give exclusive content. And even with that, when you join that, you get way more than the cost of entrance. And so they can't really do that. Oh, he's one of those financial gurus who's trying to take our money. You can't do that play. He's one of those tricksters. I'm a senior executive at a large corporation. I'm not tricking you out on anything. And so eventually people stop and say, wait a minute, okay, there's no angle we can work here. He's a happily married man. He's a God-fearing man. He's a balanced man. We can't attack him on nothing. And I mention that because a lot of times, like my brother said, when you try to be that Renaissance man, yeah, people try to find something. And so we just try to present the truth. We talk to the people. And I think the truth will always come out. Are there tricksters in this cigar thing? Yeah, there's lots. Tons. I mentioned it, and I mentioned it in the last show. Yeah, there's lots of tricksters. And when you start speaking the truth and sharing, saying honest things, you see the response. And so one of the things, I said this in my last show, I have had to stop. I can't even go on other lives anymore, because as soon as it's mentioned that I'm in the live, if people see me type a comment, there's instantly an attack. So anyone who's ever watched those lives, you see it. Because of the things that I say, it angers a lot of people. There's a lot of people who they would say it. Rise and Grind is here. We don't like him. He makes us angry. They'll say that. And so what I've had to do is I just got to do my own thing. Because of the things that I say, the honesty. Because most people can't dispute what I'm saying, then the only thing they can do is just try to attack. And it's so funny because there's nothing they can even attack, because again, I try to present myself, everything all above board. So the only thing they can do is just come with anger and animosity. And then what I do is I actually double down and I expose it and show it. And then I show these men for really operating in their femininity. And that really upsets them. And so yeah, and this is everything I'm sharing with you is what I've been learning over the past couple of months. And so when I started doing content, like I did the video that says BS, yeah, that cost me a lot in a sense. But I stand by what I said. There's a lot of BS in the cigar industry. A lot of it is just designed to separate you from your money. Tobacco is tobacco. A lot of it is just tricks, marketing, schemes. It's a lot of BS. And I'm the type to just call it out. Why? Because I can articulate it, and most people can't really attack me. They can try, but okay, you attacking a Marine pastor. Okay, now you look silly. All right, we didn't come to talk about all this. Yeah, that's one thing that I would also say. In this industry, so I started content. I was doing whiskey content. I would say this, and yes, I would say that the cigar industry, the way the cigar industry expects to sell cigars is just by sending a free sample to content creators. And sometimes the content creators take those free samples and now they believe that that's payment for their services. And so for a lot of these cigar companies, they really don't even need a marketing budget. All they need to do is send a cigar to each content creator. And the content creators then are going to do a video and promote your product essentially for free. And so those are kind of things that I talk about to say no. And so, yes, they contact me all the time. And 95% of the times, my answer is no. Or my answer is, yeah, okay, great. Thanks for the cigars. Let's talk business now. Why? Because I got a master's in business. And so when I present it that way, it causes a lot of frustration for them. And then when I say, hey, content creators, stop doing stuff for free. Now it looks like I'm hating on them. So it's a whole thing that is happening, and it only happens with cigars. It doesn't happen with whiskey. It doesn't happen with fragrances. Cigars, there isn't a lot of respect from cigar companies to cigar content creators. There's an expectation that you're just going to do content for free. And when a guy like me comes out and says, look, that ain't what I'm doing here. And so then some people try to twist that and say, oh, he's. But again, I can always articulate what I'm doing. I can reach the people, connect with the people, bring reason and logic and ethics and morals, principles. And so I just become a tough target. And so that's why, as I shared in the last live, I got to a point in the channel where I just leaned in with the people. I completely stepped away from the brands and the companies, and it's just me and the people. That's just 100% the play. And so that's where we at. All right, 30 y'all on here. Y'all rocking out. I done lit up a second cigar. We started out talking about testosterone. How do you know when you're low in testosterone? Your energy goes down. Start putting on more fat. Your libido goes down a bit. You don't have that drive for life anymore. You don't want to take risk, start new things. How do you get your testosterone back up? The way God designed us. You do man stuff. Hang out with men. Watch men. Watching men do man stuff increases your testosterone. I think there's some conversations we gotta have. What am I smoking? I'm smoking this the Don Benino. So it's a brand you never actually hear about. It's a Costa Rican company. Great cigars, love them. Special cigars, affordable. Small company out in Costa Rica by way of Miami, and so that's what I'm smoking. Really enjoying this. What's up, John Cooper? And so if y'all have any more questions for me, we had our topic. We discussed the topic. I'm like a preacher. Like most preachers want to keep you long. I preach my sermon, wrap it up, and say bye. So if y'all got some more questions for me, again, we got lots of content coming out this week. Tomorrow, we got the Texas video, best cigar lounges in Texas. Thursday, we're doing the Mount Rushmore of cigar makers. And then Friday, you know what's so interesting? Friday's show, and this is already set. Everything I do is already set. I plan things out to the T. I've got the next 3 months of the channel just planned out, videos loaded, live streams set. Friday's show, and this was already set. I wish I could just show it to you. It was already set. Friday's show is entitled "What Happened to Cigar Content?" As God is my witness. Friday's show was already entitled "What Happened to Cigar Content?" And with that show, what I'm going to be talking about, and I'll definitely share it then. That live is going to be my love letter to the way it was. Yeah, my brother John, working out, a diet with protein, vitamin D, getting rest, avoiding stress, and just being engaged in man activities. that is how you increase your testosterone. And on the flip side, not exercising, eating poorly, and when men do a lot of feminine activities, that lowers your testosterone. Friday's show is my love letter to cigar content. And it's one of those shows where I'm like, look, it's just me and the people, and we're going to have some conversation because there's 1,000 cigar content creators, and there's not a lot of good content out here. And I miss the Ron Reels. I miss the Charles Wallingfords. I miss the Cigar Vixens. I miss getting excited to watch a video. And now there's just a bunch of like clones just all saying the same thing. And it's not entertaining at all. It's like watching paint dry. And I want to know how do we get to this point? And so we're going to have a conversation about that. Friday show. What happened to cigar content? Why isn't it creative, and why is it so boring? And so that's Friday's show. That's Friday's live, 6:00. Again, it was already set. And that's what we'll be talking about on Friday for our live. Pravada is someone, so Brian certainly just corresponded with him. I think he is just like what I'm doing, is a disruptor. And here's the thing that just fascinates me. When you just tell the truth, you become a disruptor. If you just, so I'm speaking science, that's controversial. I'm not even preaching Bible. I'm just talking natural science to you, and some people will get offended by that. Brian has great knowledge of tobaccos and whatnot, and that has made him a target. And that just goes to show you how messed up this thing is. That if you just speak the truth and say something like I did a video based on what he did, so I followed his lead in a sense. He did a video called "Burn the Boxes," and he just simply said, "Hey, look, a lot of these cigar boxes. In fact, here's my Don Carlos box." He said, "Hey, a lot of these boxes are just a waste of money. The industry could save a lot of money if they just didn't have these elaborate boxes." That's a simple idea. Just him saying that causes people to be angry. But we all know it's true. Most cigars are overpriced. We all know that to be true, but he says it. And so what he has been doing is just saying the truth. And I see how people respond to him. The fact that some people hate him. Again, showing men operating in masculinity don't really go around with a whole bunch of hate, because we don't really have that emotional attachment to things we don't care about. And so I've seen the cigar industry reaction to him. And so I think whenever you enter a space, you got to understand the lay of the land. And so I learned a lot of the lay of the land by watching the reaction to him. And so when it started happening to me, then I was prepared for it. Remember, I'm a Marine. I prepare strategically. And so as far as his product model, I think it's great. It's a subscription base. He's built a community where he educates them. It ain't just chasing after brands. So as you look at this, I'm smoking a great cigar. I got all Opus, this and that, but I really smoke just good cigars that you might not, that aren't even marketed. And so I think he's done a great job of doing that. And the people who follow him, they seem to rock with him. I think when you do good by the people support you. And so when I see someone like him, it seems as if the people support him. So he must be doing something well. And in fact, actually, I've gotten a bunch of his cigars, just buying them as I travel, that I'll start featuring. Because I said to myself, let me use my platform for good. And so I'll soon start talking about some of those Pravada cigars. I don't know what TRT is. Break that down for me. Great question. And I'll talk more about this on Friday. Here's the deal. Of all the cigar content creators, and what I'm going to say is one of those things that's just going to piss everybody off. Of all the cigar content creators, and I'm talking about just individual creators, so not large companies, not Holton, Cigars Daily, not even Pravada. There is definitely a saturated market. There's probably 1,000 cigar content creators. Of that 1,000, there's only, if we want to talk about, and I don't want to spoil it for Friday, but just think about it. Of that 1,000, how many of them have more? How many of them get a good volume of views on their videos? And by volume, I simply mean more than 500 views, which is not a lot. Channels that get actually more than 1,000 views on a video consistently, there's like 3, and I'm one of them. And so there's obviously something that's broken. There's something that isn't working. And so, yeah, there's a ton of people doing it, but why is it not being done in a successful way? And we'll talk about that on Friday because I think we have these communities that seems to be the play. Reach my private community, and the content never actually goes public. And so, for instance, last week I put out a video that got like 8,000 views. That's a video that just went public. YouTube just sent it to the world. That doesn't happen for all the cigar content creators. None of them get that kind of public. It's just a small little thing that they're doing. And then a guy like me comes along and I put out a video. One of my cigar videos, my cigar lounge video, got like 30,000 views. Because it's a public thing. It's for the world. It's for people. And so I think that has limited the creator space. All right, we answering questions. We talking about burning the boxes. Diamond Crown lineup. I never really gotten into them. I didn't like them that much. And I know it should be a Toro Fuente tobacco. I never really liked the Julius Caesar. They just haven't appealed to me that much. I don't know why. I just don't like them. So that's my simple answer. They seem to be Fuente tobacco. That's not great. I like when Ashton uses Fuente tobacco. Those tend to taste really good. But the JC Newman don't taste that good to me. Testosterone replacement treatment? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I know. There's injections. And if you're joining late, you're like, wait a minute, what are they talking about? Testosterone replacement therapy? Yes, we're talking about testosterone. I think there's natural ways of getting it back in you. And yes, if you want to go get the TRT, get some shots, I support that because it's something that should naturally be in your body. Now, there's also supplements you could take. Again, I hate to be promoting companies, but like Nugenics, because we see all the commercials. So sure, I think however you're going to get it back in you, if it's natural and safe, then sure, go ahead and do it. Actually, well, no, I'm not telling you to do it. But do I support it? Sure. I would do it. I will do it when I feel I need to do it. Because I think it's important to have testosterone in your body. You can tell when a man doesn't, when he's low energy, low libido. I'm not messing with that. I'm 45. And so a man needs to keep his energy up. And it's a physical thing, but also a mental thing. There's drive. So for me to do what I do, be a pastor, this channel, all this stuff, I need some kind of excitement, energy. You can't do this if you got low energy. And maybe that's why content creators aren't doing that well, because it's like low energy. You know, it's like, dude, pick it up. Like, hurry up, spit it out, excite us. You know, say something. So yeah. So there's that. All right, we're just shooting the breeze. I'm gonna end the sermon on a good note. Look, my friends, best way to get your testosterone up. Sure, you can take supplements, TRT, nitrous oxide. Best way, this is how God designed us. Don't do what bodybuilders are doing. You don't need to juice up. Here's how God simply designed us. The best way to increase your testosterone is to do a bunch of man stuff. Nobody can argue that. Your body is designed. You do man stuff, you get more man stuff in you. Your body says, yes, finally, he's exercising. Finally, he's hanging out with other men. Finally, he's watching men. Finally, he's relaxing, getting some sleep. Finally, he's eating good. The best way to increase your testosterone is to do a bunch of man stuff. Watch men who are doing man stuff and get away. The best way to lower your testosterone is to watch men do feminine stuff. And so that's the message. You can't argue that. Do man stuff, your testosterone goes up. How do I know this? I'm a PhD social scientist. So that's our show. And so we here for the people. Great live tonight. Hashtag Texas. Send you out a Texas whiskey. A lot of content coming out this week. Check out the Patreon. You're going to love it over there. Friday, we'll talk content. That was originally the plan anyway, but I learn from you. You're my co-host. We're partners in this. And so that's why we're here as a channel. I appreciate you. Make sure you're hitting the like button just so our friends can get the content. Tell somebody about what we're doing here. This is to be supported by the people, not by the brands. I've said no to the brands, yes to the people. And so, like, comment, subscribe, but most importantly, rise and grind.